Hi, everybody, and welcome back to our next edition of Clover Connections. Today, we're really excited and really pleased, Sarah, that you were able to take some time and share with us today. Sarah Tarjeson is joining us. Sarah is the 4-H Youth Development Educator in Sheboygan County 4-H. How lucky are all of those Sheboygan County 4-Hers to have Sarah as their educator? And she's here to talk with us about one of those three parts of a meeting. We'll be talking about the business or the leading, the recreation or the laughing. Today we're going to talk about the education or the learning portion. And so we've invited Sarah to share with us a little bit about her perspective on education in 4-H clubs. Sarah, I'm going to start with the first question. And I just want to, from your experience, you've been in 4-H for a couple of years here. And so from your experience, why is education or that learning so important for our 4-H clubs and groups?
Yeah, I think it is one of those key elements. You know, the recreation and the business, that's helps build that belonging and build that you know, that element of fun in those meetings. But when you include that education in there, it really ties young people to something that's just a little bit more meaningful, something that you know, they maybe don't get in all other aspects of their life. Especially not from some of those informal, caring relationships from adults. And I really think that making sure that our clubs are including that educational component into their meetings is really important and fairly unique for our youth organization.
So Sarah, I'm curious if you've seen some good examples or some unique things that maybe have happened, anything that you can share of examples of education that have happened in clubs.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we all can share some really great examples from our counties and our clubs. We have some leaders that are really nailing this. One of the things that I talk with about my club leaders is about that element of community service. And we think about generosity and we think about giving back, but those are really rich and ripe opportunities to provide education for our members as well. Not only just you know, making something and giving it away, or you know, drawing something and sharing it with somebody, but really finding out what are the needs in our community, what are some gaps in our community that maybe other organizations aren't providing, and learning about that, and then saying, hey, as young people, we can do this. We can meet the food scarcity issues. We can, you know, teach others skills that we have as young people that they need. And so I think that community service element is one of those really rich places where we can very naturally build that in. The other thing I think of is our hook in 4-H, which is those projects. And those projects are places where young people master new skills. And sometimes we want to just leave that work to the project leaders, right? Whether it's community or county-wide things, or if we happen to be fortunate to have club project leaders. But I think our clubs are missing out on an opportunity there to really help maybe not provide the depth of experience in mastering skills, but to provide that breadth of experience. And so if we as clubs can give people snapshots of the different projects, or let's not even call them projects, let's call them, give them snapshots of things that kids might be interested in, things that kids might want to explore and turn into something in their life. If we can do that at that club basis, then that's planting those seeds for later development. We can do that through simple demonstrations. I mean, our demonstrations that happen in clubs are great opportunities for that. Sometimes those demonstrations turn into club level project days where we're really getting them a sample of everything that's happening there. And so I think the other thing is, oftentimes when you're talking in business, about business in your club, you might be hearing kids talk about, well, I don't really know anything about that, or I don't know anything about this place that we might want to go. Well, that's your opportunity to bring people in and to share some of those experiences with them.
Sarah, you talk a little bit, you just started talking about how, bringing people in, and I think that's a really great opportunity for education. What if a club is struggling with, they have a topic that they're trying to address, but they don't have any resources within their club or within their current project leaders? How can they bring in more resources or find more resources to help their club with education?
Yeah, that is tough. And I think all clubs struggle with that. Very often we look at the adults, the parents in the room, and we say, okay, what do you have? What can you do? What do you have? What can you do? What are your interests? What are your passions? Can you bring it in? And that's a good place to start. But very often parents, I know when I'm sitting in that room, I don't look at myself and say, oh, I have a talent that I can share. But when I have a young person that has expressed an interest, I need to do something that's both kind of brave and kind of challenging. And that's that infamous cold call, that reaching out into the community, picking up the phone and saying, you don't know me, but this is what I do. I'm a volunteer. I like this. I have a kid that was really interested in this. Can you come in? Can you share what it is you do? Can you tell me about your small business, about an element of your manufacturing plant, whether it's robotics or technology or human interpersonal skills, whatever it might be. All of us have resource-rich communities that we can bring those folks in. And oftentimes they are more than willing to come in and share their passions and theirs with young people. It's never hard to find people to talk about things that they're good at and they love. They're more than willing to do that. So that's where I would encourage people to go first. The other thing is that we've really borrowed from other counties very, very often. I mean, I'm in Sheboygan, and so we've got Manitowoc and Ozaukee and Washington on Calumet all nearby. And I know that they have leaders that I can rely on, that they're more than willing to help broaden their youth base as well. And then I know that we have some things that we'd love to invite young people into to share that experience with them. So don't be afraid to pick up the phone, connect with other educators, and find out what volunteers are out there from nearby counties that could help as well.
Wow, Sarah, I think you bring up some really good points and some really good resources, but it's got me really thinking about our youth leaders, especially when it comes to education. So can you help me think of how can youth be part of leading that club experience in education?
Yeah. So let me start by saying the thing you don't want to do is just send out an email to all of your young people in this and such grade and this and such project and say, hey, who wants to lead it? Because you will get crickets. You will not hear back from them. But the most success I've had in that is when I've known a topic or thought I maybe knew of a direction that we wanted to go. And then I, again, picked up the phone, or in young people's case, texted, got that text number. And I said, hey, Chloe, I heard you do a lot of origami. Can you come on and teach us some origami? Simple, quick, don't overthink it. Just, come on and show us how to do it. Don't make it something that's super overwhelming. Let them know that they know this, they got it, they've done it before, and bring them on to do that. So that personal ask is really important with all people, but of course also and especially young people. And I really believe in setting young people up for success in this, letting them know that you're not going to make this ask and then they're not going to hear from you again until the day of. Let them know that, hey, I'm willing to walk through this, and I'm willing to help you practice, and I'm willing to, come up with some activities that I think might be good with you. Because sometimes, they know they could do it, but they just can't think of that one cool activity or that one thing. And so, really supporting them, setting them up for success, helping them process questions that might come up, making sure they're comfortable with the technology these days. Really making sure that they're well prepared. I think that's really key anytime you ask young people, because then when you ask the next young person, you have their word of mouth saying, yeah, that worked really well. I saw she supported them. That worked well.
Sarah, I want to thank you for joining us today for this edition. I think we've learned and talked a lot about education. In our COVID times, education can happen, as you just talked about, like through the Zoom technology. Chloe and origami, now I want to do origami. And so I think just remembering out there, volunteers, that your local educators and staff are there to help you figure this out. We are here, and so is everyone across the state, here to help you figure out what education looks like in COVID times and in non-COVID times, because at some time we're going to not be in this time, and we'll be able to get back to some more normalcy. 4-H believes in and strives in learning by doing. Education can be that same way, hands-on with young people, hands-on with adults, and engaging people that way, but to keep our own learning and lifelong learning going. Thank you all for watching us today. Thank you again, Sarah, for joining us, and we
My
hope
pleasure.
you join us next time.